Welcome back. Where to start? Sasol is as bad a place as any, with HEPS down 66% as they write down anything that moves, or in some cases doesn't move. Dividend gone, that's surely no surprise. He has some insights on the reasons for the impairments from CEO Simon Baloyi.
So what happened to us is that the assumptions, and this is not just our own assumptions, but it's the long-term pricing outlook. And this is the delta between ethane and ethylene. So we saw that gross margin coming down. And because of that, we had to impair the assets. So we impaired it purely based on the longer-term pricing assumptions.
So there are two types of people on Twitter. Those that tell you that Sasol is the best thing in the world to buy, and then there are sensible people. Where do you two gentlemen sit?
I would like to think I'm a sensible human.
You're buying Sasol?
But I'm not anchoring on that. No, so it's tough operating in any type of commodity, and it doesn't even matter if you have those commodities and those commodities are quote unquote diversified as a part of your portfolio as a company. But this shows this is the bluest of diversified of companies you can get on the JSE for South Africans. But
and there, what did you say? Assumptions were wrong.
The energy side is fine.
Yeah.
Okay, which is the gas, the mining, and fuel. But when you get into the chemical space, that's a disaster.
And it's competitive.
And Lake Charles was the disaster. But for me, I'm trying to find where the turnaround's going to come in commodities. I'm talking about the broader commodity, from iron ore to nickel to all of those.
Ethanol.
I can't find it. There is no demand. That's why we need to reinstate growth into the global economy. Because
do they sell chemicals?
No,
sell the business.
They spend so much getting to these valuations that they're now saying, the assumptions are wrong, which
I spent.
Will you sell David Jones?
Yeah, this is the same kind of thing. I think they spent 250 billion on Lake Charles.
Yes.
The total value of Sasol today is, 80, 90? I don't know where it is.
And they're writing it down to a point where they're trying to get it to be profitable so they can tell us that they've made a profit in the next coming.
Yeah, I know.
It's
accounting crookery 101, and I'm being polite.
Mutual has come
back
with
work.
its tail between its legs.
Everybody.
Woolworths come back, Sasol come home.
Sasol come home. And now let's go to Absa and their CEO revolving door that just won't stop spinning. Results were, ho-hum, but losing yet another CEO does seem overly careless. They've lost more CEOs than we've had Joburg mayors over the same period.
They are one CEO away from the righteous eight. Go figure.
Surely this goes to the board, David. Maria Ramos left, when
2021, not 2021.
18, I thought.
2019, yes.
Yeah.
So it's been a while, and they knew Maria had been there by that point for a decade.
10 years,
they knew that she was on the way out. Surely this sits with the board, and it surely is a disaster of epic proportion that one of your big banks can't keep a CEO.
So that's when the madness started, and it just never ended, it seems.
From the trust bank days.
Sure.
Wait.
Amalgamated Banks of South Africa.
It's never
going back.
really caught up with the rest of them. I don't know what it is.
The lag. It has always been
I don't know
the
what the reason is. I don't know whether it's
culture.
in the DNA.
Culture.
Look, they had the whole
culture will eat you up for breakfast. That's what they say.
I spoke to Cookie Koyman from Denker this week, and he said to me, that Absa divorce was, from the outside, looked quite seamless, but from the inside was a humongous, chaotic process. Yeah. But still.
But surely, what is it now? 7 years later, there should have been some excitement from, the Red Bank. Yeah. I don't really feel that. There was that one time they launched the whole new rebranding with all the 800 drones or whatever downtown. That was pretty epic.
That was pretty epic.
Yeah, why can't you build from that momentum, man? That was a beginning of a new dawn.
I think it's culture. And this culture has existed from the
Trust
good old
Bank,
days.
Foxcast. What were the four banks? I can't even remember what they all were. Yeah. Became Amalgamated Banks of South Africa.
And look, that helped Capitec, because they took over all the IT and equipment from the breakup of that bank, and they started there in the Boerland or wherever they were, and have built an incredible business.
Okay, well, on to Spur. Costs up a lot, a real lot, but otherwise barreling along with their loyalty program, reaping rewards for Spur and customers, it seems. Still no debt, customer numbers, yeah, but spend per customer increased ahead of internal inflation. What's not to like? Here's the CEO on treating our souls.
But we are seeing interesting things like our dinner trade increasing. So that's saying that people still want to come out for a treat, still want to go out for that small indulgence to the shopping mall. You know, maybe in these tight economic times, people can't afford to buy some of the hard goods or the physical goods, but they can come and treat their families for a meal.
Not allowed to mention the onion rings because there's a gentleman out there who hates it every time you and David mention the Spur onion ring.
No, that's Wayne. I never eat onions.
I never eat at Spur.
No, you must.
I don't have kids.
There's a cycle that's happening in South Africa, and it's very positive for these type of businesses, and that's power is more reliable.
150 days.
Yes, so there's more reliable power. That's going to be a very big boost for these businesses. They're probably not going to mention it as much as they mentioned it when it was the negative.
Yeah.
But yeah, the only problem I think with Spur in particular is that you are not buying the aged steak. You said you were going to try it. It's how many results later? He hasn't tried the aged steak.
Spur has an aged steak.
Correct.
Nah.
Huh?
Yes,
I'm
you
going
need to go
turn
try
tender
it.
for lunch today.
No, go to Spur.
But is it like
There is no Spur
It's
around.
really good. That's why the dinner menu is popular.
I have
When
dinner
I'm at
plans
the-
for
yeah.
tonight, but I'll get there.
But
Yeah,
when
we
I'm
need to do market research. Three of us.
But like, do I go
for
there
dinner.
ahead of the grill house?
Yeah, no. Just don't compare the two. Go there for the experience. It's nice. I love
the
it.
experienced little ones? Okay, hold on. Let's get back.
We digress.
It's good numbers, right? I mean,
it's good
they're doing
numbers.
well. No
They've
debt.
done well, yeah. It's not an industry that's going to blow out. It's very difficult. Your margins are very tight. Costs are always going up. As I mentioned, interest rates are high.
But a good
and
year
people
is
are not
really
going to
good.
spend too much. As Val said, you've got, it is a treat.
Still tight out
Yeah.
there.
So,
Okay.
But it's an opera. I was at the first Golden Spur in Rosebank in the 1960s. Still got their menu.
The Rosebank, Cape Town.
No, here.
Yeah, was it here?
Golden Spur.
Okay. Okay. We need to mention Coronation. They put out an update, all good as they say, they won against SARS, add 205 cents to HEP, so why only a special dividend of 153? What are they doing with that extra 52 cents? Spend it on a celebratory party down in Cape Town? Bright, where's that 52 cents?
It's going to the bonus pool. I know you didn't want to hear this, but you know that pool?
Hold on, the bonus pool who had nothing to do with winning the court case against
Well. Apparently their bonuses were cut because this was ongoing, but it's no longer ongoing. Put it back in the pool, boys.
Okay, so car dealerships in Cape Town are going to be having a good...
Ring. There you go. You're smart. I'm not. I'm a little
We're
slow.
the idiots, We work on our own. I mean, he's with Vestac, I'm with Sasfin, you're on your independent.
We're on TV.
You got to go, yeah.
No bonus pool, bro.
You got to join Mutual or Sunlum or that, yeah, and get into that bonus with some of the big operators.
Yeah.
And we small time here.
I know you didn't want to hear that, but at least they're bringing back some, or majority of it to shareholders.
Okay, I didn't want to hear it. I'd forgotten about bonus pools. Okay. Adcock Ingram results looked just fine, if not a little boring, which is fine, I suppose, even if we like our drugs typically a little more exciting. A hard flu this winter has helped. Here, CEO Andy Hall on demand dynamics.
What we're finding is that we really have to innovate well, move products into smaller pack sizes, make sure we're watching our competitors closely in terms of discounting and promotional activity. So there's no doubt that for us, while interest rates are still high and unemployment has been rising, that it's been a little bit more difficult in that part of the business. But on the more defensive side, prescription, OTC and hospital, there, we don't say this with any happiness, but there people still unfortunately have to get ill and that portfolio still has robust demand.
I'd like to think I'm one of the individuals with a strong immune system, but this winter had hands and I bought everything from those guys. I mean, from throat lozenges.
Did you get sick?
A lot.
I didn't get sick.
I got sick
stay over
a
there.
lot. I got sick
It was
almost the whole winter.
It was
bad.
I got the whole winter, no sick. David? Excellent. Good result.
I'm not putting a whammy on. I'm
you're
not
also
tempting
sitting-
Providence. I'm just
No, but at least we're out of the
But that's it.
tough
But right,
days.
you could see it because it was. Everyone I know who got sick really suffered. Those numbers showed it. David, I mean, look.
I went
single digit.
multiple trips to the pharmacy and ordering the same stuff. Like I said, what do you call this? The effervescence.
Yeah,
you know the
get
cough
Act
syrup.
200, you know, I get Act 600.
Yeah, I got both, and I got
Okay, enough about you. Numbers. It's low, it's what, high single digit, that's kind of what you expect.
No, it's a good operation. What I wanted to bring up, I was with Joffy 10 years ago, 2014,
Yes, I remember
when they
that.
bought
Yes.
Adcock Ingram.
I took a stake, 70%.
Yeah, well, at 75 rand.
Yeah.
from the Brazilians.
But when Brian spoke, what he was interested in was he said, look, down the line, people are going to do their own diagnosis and going to buy over the counter. And that's why that's one of the reasons he looked at Adcock.
He was right.
Yeah. You know, and it is. You see it coming through in the results now. It's actually...
Also, I just do the old school thing. I don't go to a GP. I just go to the drug dealer
Yeah.
and say I'm sick. And they're like,
Yeah.
oh, have the... So it's not prescription, but it's all of those things.
But I
Yeah.
think it's coming into its own now. You know, self-medication, going on the internet, looking at what we should do rather than going to the hospitals and
And it scares me more. Heck, we haven't got to MTN yet. A horror story of devalued Naira. This is the new normal for them unless something wild happens to Nigerian currencies, which is surely not likely. So this is their new normal. MTN.
It's going to be a tough going for the next couple of years, not just months.
Nah.
You buying it 90? I was chatting with
All
Jim
extra.
Yaha. He's like, oh,
But it's even going to be more tougher for them because the BE scheme matures at the end of the year. They need to do something about that. It's deep in the red. And I can imagine the conversations the board of the BE scheme and the main board are having currently. There's a lot of punching there. So it's going to be quite interesting if they save the scheme or let it sink. So
Like
there's a lot. There's a lot happening.
All the mobile companies, just utilities.
yeah, just utilities. And finally, a school worker has been jailed in the US for stealing $1.5 million of chicken wings. Yes, that's a whole very lot. But it turns out the 68-year-old Vera Liddell from Chicago worked at the school during the pandemic, and the chicken wings kept on being delivered even as the kids were ordered home. So she just kept on taking them. 11,000 cases. She's now been sentenced to 9 years in jail, which works out to about 40 wings a day. She's going to be real popular.
Where did she keep them?
She must have
She resold them.
She must have been selling them, surely.
Oh, I see.
Because
Okay.
11,000 cases.
Oh, I'm going to say she just, wow. Okay.
Someone forgot to cancel the order. Everyone got
odd.
sent home. Someone didn't cancel the order, and well,
She made use of the order. Yeah.
she bang for buck. Yep. David, Bright, thank you. Ladies and gents, have a great evening and an even greater weekend. Till next week, cheers.
Not weed.